esto del micrófono es nuevo para mí. It's so new to me. So, ahora sí, mi raza, todo put together. Porque me miraba como, I don't know, algo. Me miraba como algo. I also darkened on my lips because we can't be looking like those Karens, you know? Anyway, tonight my choice of intoxication is going to be a bottle of wine. So, if you're not old enough, do not drink. ¿Quién soy yo ahí de 15 años y tomando? No chingues. Pero, let's grab a wine. And let's start with those consejos. Oh, it's so good. This is the Stella Rose, the blueberry flavored. Comment down what is yours. What is your favorite? So I'm pretty excited to be to finally announce something that I have been working on really shortly, because I just wanted to hop on the trend. You know, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. The Girly Pop podcast, the Spill the Bean podcast, the G podcast, I believe, from my favorite YouTubers and TikTokers and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start one. I know that I don't have a lot of influence, and you know, but what is it stopping us from? Lexi. This is my little Lexi. She's out here smelling the alcohol and shit. She's a little too hairy because her hair just grows a lot, but they're going to shave her off on Wednesday. She is very playful, so you'll be kind of hearing me argue with her a little bit. But I wanted to make an introduction on what this podcast is going to be. And you guys know that I always like talking about my mental illness, you know, depression, anxiety. I've had anxiety attacks and stuff like that, and panic attacks as well. So I just wanted to talk about that. Not just that, but we want to give the most mediocre consejos you've ever seen. And I say mediocres because, like, you know, I'm that girl that will give you the best advice, but will I take it? No. Honestly, who else is like that? Because that is just me. I am a very good listener. I can give the best advice. I can think of a million ways to help you and to help the situation, and I will never take them because I'm just good at giving them, but I'm not good at actually doing them. So if you're like me, comment down below. I would like to know. Hey Lexi, I'm doing a podcast here. Go sit down. Ve, siéntate. Siéntate. She doesn't listen. I also want you guys to know that this will be a bilingual, as I like to say, Spanglish podcast. So voy a tener algunos videos que van a ser en español y otros que van a ser en inglés. ¿Por qué? Porque tengo muchas personas que solamente entienden en español y es completamente bien. ¿Por qué? Porque voy a tener a mi pareja al lado haciendo un podcast de unas cuantas veces hablando de, chismeando y hablando de pendejadas and stuff like that. So, definitivamente va a ser en español también para que se hagan tune in en este canal. Ya. Siéntate. Yeah, she almost in. She's smelling my alcohol breath. What's going to be the first topic? So, there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, but I will be reading a couple of stories that I had found que se me hicieron muy interesantes, porque hay veces que like I can relate, and then there's stuff where it's like, girl, really? So, les voy a leer algo. Also, I just want you guys to know that this is going to be it's going to be a very different type of topics that we'll be talking about, and some of them are going to be serious and some of them are not. I want you guys to be aware that I will be giving warnings if it's something serious, something that has happened to me and it can be traumatizing. And I will also be telling you guys when it's not so serious. And in this case, it's going to be in the middle. It's going to be serious, but we're going to try not to keep it so serious, because in this life, no podemos tener nada serio, plebes. Honestly, I've been watching Stacy too much. Stacy Diaz, if you ever watch my videos, I love you, girl. Y se me pegó el de plebes, porque es de Sinaloa, de Mochis. So, yeah. I probably shouldn't be telling you guys, but I mean, where she's from, but I mean, she says it all the time, so I guess it's okay. I need to learn how to sit up. Pero nada, vamos a empezar. We're gonna start. There's one here where it says, my boyfriend told me I'm not wife material. Well, first of all, throw him to the trash. He's trash. Leave him. Because if you're trying your best, first of all, if you're trying your vest, what the fuck? If you're trying your best, and if you're doing things that a wife is doing, you are already wife material. So if you're cooking for him, you're cleaning for him, you take care of him, and you're living with him, you already are wife material. Okay? Unless I have that straight. So she says, we've been together for 6 years. I want to get married. My boyfriend told me I'm not wife material, and this is hurting my feelings so much. He said I'm not wife material because I'm 30 and no one has ever put a ring on me. Well, first of all, like, do you want to be J-Lo? No, she's probably been engaged like 6 times. Doesn't mean that she's really not wife material or that she is wife material. Like, whether you had a ring before or you haven't doesn't mean that you're not wife material. So, dump his ass. I have a daughter out of a wedlock when I was 18. I'm black. He's black too. I've been having infertility issues. I'm 134, and she puts here, I'm a few pounds overweight. I'm 5 foot. There's no way that you're overweight. Honey, that's the way I want to be, and I'm the same height as you. And I am a way bigger than you. She continues, I have nothing valuable to offer. Like, what do you mean valuable? You're giving him 6 years of your life. You're taking care of him. You're cooking for him. And, I mean, you've been together for 6 years. I'm pretty sure you guys are living together, so what valuable are you not talking about? You're already very valuable for giving him your time that he does not deserve. So, what the fuck? I know I don't deserve this kind of treatment. It's hard for me to leave, but we've been together for so long. We've known each other even longer. We even own a house together. He wants to be with me, but only as girlfriend and boyfriend, because he says he will never see me as a wife material. Well, that's all I gotta say. Just dump his ass, because you're already giving everything that a wife already is giving, so you're already a wife. He just doesn't want to get married because, like, let's be honest, it's hurtful here, but he just doesn't see you as a wife, not because you're not wife material, but because he just doesn't see a future with you, if that makes sense. So I want you to have that very clear for all the girls that want to get married and have a man like this. It's not because you're not wife material, it's because he just doesn't see you as a wife. He doesn't see you as a person that he wants to spend the rest of your life with. So, the rest of his life with, if that makes sense. Wow, am I drunk already? What the fuck? And excuse that, that's my calentón. It's freezing outside. Just note. Anyway, moving on. Is it normal to have a 7 p.m. curfew at 20 years old? Honestly, before I even read this, I'm just going to say that I had the same experience. Though I was 18 already. I was I went from being 17 and going from like school hours. I only had 1 hour after school for me to get home. So I would have to be home at 4:30 p.m. or 5 p.m. latest. And then I went from being 18 to going from 7 p.m. and that did not change until I moved out when I was 19. So I can relate to this so much, and it's so annoying. I'm 22 now. I live with my partner now, so I cannot still understand why my parents ever did this. And I asked my mom, and every time she would tell me it would be because it's late outside. Like, you're right here at 4 p.m. it's already super dark, so it's super late for her already. She thinks it's like 9 p.m. 10 p.m. already and I should be home. I don't know why, but is it normal? I guess it's normal for me because I come from that family. But is it normal in general? Because everybody else would get home like around 10 p.m. and they would be fine. Or 9 p.m. at least. I would want to have it, where get home from, I don't know, doing something. Excuse me. But is it normal? I don't know if it's normal. It's normal for me because I can 100% relate to it. So it says, hi, my parents are very strict despite me not even living with them anymore. Oh, what? They have pushed a 7 p.m. curfew on me, and I was running a little late and was speeding, trying to get home so they won't take my car for breaking curfew. I got pulled over and explained to the cops, and he did not believe me, and it has me questioning if this is normal or not. Is this standard for parents? I have no reason to have this low of a curfew. I've never broken any laws. I have had one speeding ticket in the past, but other than that, nothing. I have no criminal history or no reason for them not to trust me. I guess it's I was living with them, so it's kind of like it's my house, it's my rules type of thing. But if you're not living with them, no, that's not normal. I should have decided to read the whole story first, but it's not normal. I think that's where it comes, where you have to put boundaries to your parents. And I would always explain this to my parents when I was living with them. Like, I've never had a speeding ticket ever either. Knock on wood, because I don't want to get one either. But I would explain to them, no matter what I do, I can be looking 100% everywhere and be 100% careful and try and be safe and drive as careful as I can. But if another person is not looking, I can still be in a car crash, you know. Que Dios no lo quiera tampoco, ¿verdad? Que me va a persignar, pero porque, you know, no matter what you do, no matter where you're going, what you're doing, stuff is always going to happen, you know. Your parents cannot control that. That's just how they think that they can control, you know, the situation. But all I can tell you is to put boundaries, set boundaries with your parents. You no longer live with them, so I mean, you can't either be like, oh, they're not even gonna know, because that's not being sneaky. Like, it's more fun when you're home and they're like, oh, you know, you can be petty and be like, well, they're not gonna notice because, like, you know. But that's all I can tell you. Boundaries, people. Put boundaries on anyone. Your mom, your sister, your dad, your brother, your friend, anyone, your grandma. Put those boundaries. Set your boundaries. Have the facts straight, because it is not normal, especially if you're not living with them. I thought you were living with them, sir. Anyway, and then I can 100% relate to this one as well. They say, I'm gonna say they because I don't know if it's a she or he, why is my memory so terrible? It feels like I have Alzheimer's or dementia, but I'm only 21. My memory is really horrible, and I'm not sure what is causing it. For example, recently I wasn't able to remember something from just an hour ago, and coworkers got visibly frustrated with me. Another time, someone was explaining something to me and I forgot what they told me to do immediately after the conversation ended. Honestly, that has happened to me various times. As a person with depression, anxiety, and panic attacks is very normal for me. I was also recently diagnosed. I feel like I mentioned this before on my vlogs, but I was also diagnosed with PTSD. So that has a lot to do with it. So if you had a trauma, I was gonna say drama, but if you had a trauma before, you know, you probably need to talk to a therapist for you to be diagnosed, because I was diagnosed by a therapist. I am not self-diagnosing none of this. Unfortunately, you know, had attempts. So they had to diagnose me. And I was diagnosed this year at the beginning, I believe it was in February, that I had PTSD, which I had already knew. But it's part of the PTSD. It happens to me all the time. And it just gets me so frustrated because I sometimes can't even focus on things because my mind just zones out of nowhere. I don't even notice. So it's very, very normal. You just have to really check if this happens to you, you know, just speak to someone. If you don't have anyone that has history of dementia or Alzheimer's, because those are pretty much comes in your genes. So you just have to put a pin on it and speak to your parents about it. If not, then you might have something to do with trauma, PTSD or something. Other than that, it's probably linked to depression. If you haven't had depression before, you should probably speak to a therapist about it. But yes, it happens to me all the time. So this one time I was working at a bakery, and this lady, she came up to me and she was talking to me, and she told me about how she wanted her cake decorated. And I was paying attention to her. Wow, I can't speak. I was paying attention to her, and for some reason, none of her words were sticking. None of what she was saying was making sense in my head. I was trying to write it down, but nothing was making sense. To tell you nothing, I had to ask her what color she wanted on her cake, and she told me, and I just did not understand. Honestly, I apologized like so many times, and I told her it's not an excuse for me to be giving you this, but I honestly I forget information immediately right after being told, and it's part of my mental illness, so I apologize. And a lot of them seem to understand, and a lot of them are like frustrated. Is there someone I can speak to? So my boss would just go, honestly. but it has happened to me. And it gets me so frustrated because I'm just like, what? Literally, I was like, what color? Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, that is my consejo mediocre. Honestly, get that checked out. It's not so much of like mediocre, it's more of a consejo. Consejo is advice. For I forgot to mention that for my non-Spanish speakers. Consejo is advice. So that is my advice, to go get that check out with a doctor, especially with a therapist. Can get you a very well diagnosis, not by me. So I'm so excited that this finally is able to be out there. I will be posting once a week. I will be trying to have different peoples. I will be trying to do many different situations. I'll be trying to talk about many different things. A lot of them are going to be serious. A lot of them are going to be, just fucking around and, laughing, having a good time, getting drunk together and stuff like that. I will be trying to add a little bit more. This is just my first ever podcast, but I will definitely be adding a lot more into it, not just talking. Maybe we can do like a game or something. I am writing down any ideas, so if you guys have any, please don't forget to comment down below. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this small episode, small talk episode, and I hope that we're not alone into this, because if it happens to that person, it happens to us. It happens to one, you're not alone. It happens to all of us. So I hope that you guys can ever relate to this as well. I feel like a lot of Hispanic or Mexican household children can relate to this. So I hope that you guys really, really enjoyed this. Not really, that's too many reallys. I hope I can be myself a lot here, more than on my vlogs. I don't know, for some reason it feels more natural for me to be me. I just started drinking, so it's not the alcohol. So cheers to the first podcast ever. I will see you guys on my next episode. Woohoo! I definitely need to bring up more stuff, that iCarly applause thing. Yeah. Machine. Yeah. I need to get creative with this, but bye.